I'm Sanjay Mohe from Mindspace Architects. We are talking about the drawing board competition sponsored by Rohan Builders. This is the 10th year and we are extremely excited about it because of the response that we got not only in India, even across the globe. The site which we are introducing this time is in a place called Sadahalli, which is known for its granite stone. There was this hillock over the years with a small shrine. While excavating the rock, what they did is they preserved this small piece where the shrine rests. And the access to this shrine is a thin wall. Now to approach this site, you sort of walk through plantation of eucalyptus trees and you come at a mid-level, not at the top level. And that's again an intentional thing because the top part of almost about 7 to 8 meters, we want to leave it undisturbed to keep the serenity of the site, to keep the serenity of the shrine, and the intervention will happen below that. Now the idea is how do you energize that place. But what is wonderful is you have a sky on the top, you have this shimmering granite gray color, silver gray color in the middle, and you have water below, and that water has a turquoise blue color. And when you see that reflection of that gray granite into that water, that brings in a different dimension to the whole place. So I'll explain you the site conditions. Over the years, there was this small hillock with a small shrine. As they started quarrying over the years, what they did was they left a place to keep the shrine intact and access to the shrine, and then started excavating all around that. If you really look at the scale, this has gone down by almost 30 meters. And this is close to about 100 meters. So if you see the section, you see this incredible depth which exposes this raw granite. What becomes interesting is in plan, you have this rock mass which is about 25 meters by 20 meters, which has a shrine, small shrine in the middle, with access wall connecting to the landmass. The width of this is only about 2 meters at the top. This wall, I would call it the wall, becomes a very, very strong element in the whole approach to this. As they went down, excavating this space, they left one cut in this wall, which is about 4 meters by about 14 meters. And this is at that time to facilitate the movement of the vehicles, the trucks to go across. Then probably the technology changed and you can see that on the surface of this, you would see different marks on the wall. When we look at the plan, you have this place for shrine, we have this wall, and then we have an enclosure. And within this, you're supposed to intervene. Now, there are a series of plantation of eucalyptus trees, and the whole meandering approach comes through that, and you enter somewhere at this point. We want you to enter somewhere at the lower point, which is about 23 meters from the bottom of the quarry. So you see this amazing water which is connecting the whole space. We would prefer the intervention to be below this line. So this is a datum below which the intervention should happen. Now the quarter which we are talking about, which is towards the western side of the wall is actually spanning north-south, so you get two large surfaces towards the east and west. So through this cut, what we are talking about, you get this morning sunlight coming into the space. During evening, you will see this entire wall lit up with the western sun, with that water below, the reflection. This site is so serene, so powerful. We just felt that more people should experience what we experience. And how do we do that? And that's what we thought, that how do we activate this space? How do we bring energy into this space? So there was a thought that can we create a museum which is connected with the rocks, with the entire formation of the process of formation of these rocks. And while experiencing it, how can you really energize this entire space? So the idea is to probably, bring in activity at different levels. Maybe there are platforms which happen at different levels. There is a platform where you come in. So is there possibility to create intervention of the people here, intervention of people standing here, intervention of people closer to the water? And so these activities, how would you really spread them across this entire enclosure? This entire process of human intervention, which is bringing this incredible quality to that space. How do you preserve it? How do we express it? How do you energize it? And how do you bring life into this? Shweta will talk about the requirements of the project.
This is Sadahalli Quarry, which is located on the outskirts of Bangalore. The site actually carries physical traces of the long and layered history of quarrying process. If you closely look at these quarry walls, you see varied patterns and textures. At the top are these horizontal lines which reveal the earlier process of stone extraction. So here the holes were drilled to a maximum depth of around 900 mm or so, and controlled blasting techniques were used to break the stones into manageable pieces. And as we move down, the lines change direction. So the deeper vertical grooves reveal a different technique of quarrying. Here the holes were drilled at a very close intervals to a depth of nearly 6 meters, and larger chunks of stones were extracted. In contrast to these textures, you also see very smooth surfaces. Here wire saw machines were used for more precise stone cutting and extraction. Now the quarry is no longer in operation, but the entire process has given us a place which is very unique and very rich architecturally. So here the idea is to give a new life to this space where people learn about the rocks, minerals, fossils and gemstones, and also the mining history of this place by designing a museum for geology. So the site in specific are these two quarry walls. That is the western wall, which leads to a temple on top, and then the southern wall, which is connected to the western wall. This measures around 100 meters and this approximately around 90 meters. We have various small platforms at different levels on these walls, and at the lower level we have like larger stone platforms which measures around 1.5 meters to 2.5 meters. These platforms appear or disappear depending on the water level during monsoon. We have considered the maximum water level to be in line with the 1.5 meter platform. You enter the site at a certain height, which is nearly 25 meters from the base of the quarry. So any intervention should be avoided beyond this height. We will be sharing a SketchUp model of the site where these areas are highlighted in blue. So the design program for the Museum of Geology is divided into 3 distinct zones. One is the exhibition and gallery zone, the other one is education and research, and the third one would be admin and storage facilities. The total built-up area, we are looking at 50,000 square feet. It is limited to 50,000 square feet. So each of these zones have specific areas, like for example, exhibition and public areas, it is around 30,000 square feet where we have permanent galleries, interactive labs, temporary exhibition hall, AV room, museum shop and a cafe, and toilets and utilities. Education and research lab is at around 10,000 square feet, which has lecture and seminar halls, research library, offices, toilets and utilities. And admin and storage is around 5,000 to 10,000 square feet. The zoning can be shaped by the journey you want the visitors to experience. Think about how people will move through the space, what they will see and what they'll discover. This should be an immersive journey where the building and the quarry would work together to tell a story. It is strongly advised that the students do not visit the site because it's a private property, and also due to the safety concerns. All the videos and photographs are available for reference, so please avoid going to the site.
Now we want that activities to happen at different levels. It could be at near the plantation of eucalyptus trees. Over these different platforms which are formed, and right up to the edge of the water. So how you respond to that water edge also becomes important. So with all this at your disposal, the sky, the trees, the rocks, the water, and the light, and with all these elements, how can you create magic in that place? When you just look at those pictures of the site, you will get excited and you will start feel like sketching, I'm sure about it. So put in your heart, do the best. The best part of this competition that you get not just wonderful participation from you all, but we get great national jurors, international jurors, listening to their comments. That itself is a big process of learning. So I urge you to sort of participate and learn from it. And it's a wonderful platform to get exposure in this professional field. Wishing you all the best.